All right, hello. Welcome to the Football is King podcast. Episode who knows what. I haven't been able to keep track of the episodes this year because we're doing 2 a week every week now. Appreciate it. Like, subscribe, those things. There you go. We got that out of the way. Let's get right into it. It's BS conjecture time, and I've got 3 BS topics to get into today, and it's going to be a good one. Starting off, we love to talk in the BS conjecture section of the podcast about sports that are not football. Love to open the Football is King podcast with not football. Tonight is the first game of the NHL season. We love some hockey here on the Football is King podcast as well. It's a great sport. Nothing's better than playoff hockey, in my opinion. It might be the most electrifying sport that's out there. Regular season hockey, maybe not so much, but playoff hockey, they hit harder, they skate faster. You get Bob Vasilevsky out there not being able to get scored on, you win Stanley Cups. It's great.
ESPN doesn't do regular season hockey any favors anyhow, though, because you can't watch it. So
yeah,
playoff hockey is still way more electric, and I agree with Austin. It is quite literally probably the greatest sport on TV when you're watching it, but they don't do. And rest it. R.I.P. Barry Melrose. A little early R.I.P.
Yeah, he's not dead, but yes, Barry Melrose. They did come out today and say that Barry Melrose has Parkinson's, and that's just very sad. I think
he's on his way to death.
For my entire life that I've watched hockey, Barry Melrose has been the face of hockey.
Yes, that slick back gray hair.
Dude, that's so bad, Shane.
But what we wanted to talk about today is just when it comes to hockey, our boy Connor Bedard, the next Wayne Gretzky, apparently. Is he screwed? Is he screwed? Like he doesn't stand a chance, right?
No. And he's in Chicago.
Which they're terrible. They're bad.
So, and then you're telling this 18 or 19-year-old kid he's got to live up to Wayne flipping Gretzky. Like, come on, like that's not fair to the poor kid. Like, give him a couple years to see what he's got, because we see it in every sport. How many first picks in the NFL draft actually end up good at football? 20%? Not very many.
Probably less than. Well, see, I feel like that one's kind of different though, because in football they always feel like they have to take a quarterback, and quarterback is just a gamble no matter what.
Yeah.
Even Trevor Lawrence was supposed to be a guarantee, and is Trevor Lawrence?
Peyton Manning.
Trevor Lawrence is a franchise quarterback, but he is not.
No, but coming out, coming out. This is the next Peyton Manning. I mean,
I think the better comparison is like baseball.
Yeah,
like how many first round or first drafted overall kids in baseball make?
Yeah, and I feel like in hockey, it's much less of a guess. Like we all knew,
he can play.
He's gonna be good.
Yes,
but he's not gonna be that good, right? Everyone knew McDavid was gonna be a stud. He was gonna be incredible at hocky. And he probably is the best player. However, he's going to always be on a team that cannot win. Yeah, he absolutely cannot win a Stanley Cup. Well, everyone knew Crosby was going to be good.
He just scored another goal. He's got 2 now tonight. Sidney Crosby.
No. Brian Russ scored the first goal.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I thought.
But that's the thing. Like hockey. Everyone talks about football as the ultimate team sport. Hockey might honestly take the cake for the ultimate.
No, hockey, you can have a good goallie who can just carry you forever.
I'll digress.
The Dallas Stars.
Yeah,
the Stars got talent,
dude. Some of them.
Yeah, but then you go against Big Bob in the playoffs, and he's got a 98% save percentage, and he just dominates.
Who I'd like to see play hockey? Dan Campbell in the old days. Not these new.
Golly, he looked like Zdeno Chara out there, just 7 feet tall, just wrecking people.
Just beating the crap out of little people.
Although the thought of Dan Campbell on ice skates, just him stumbling around, is quite funny. I love that idea. You know what? He's up there in Michigan. He's up there in Hockey Town. Sign him up for a Red Wings practice one day. Let's do this.
Just put him out there for a practice. Film it. It would be good content.
get him at the intramurals with the old folks and let's see.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let him play on the firefighters.
Don't let him. Yeah, don't let him play with the old folks. He will kill somebody, and we don't need Dan Campbell in prison for manslaughter. Because you know what? He's got the Lions 4-1 right now, and they're playing some good football.
Got the boys humming. They're chewing kneecaps.
All right. I do have two other BS conjecture topics this week, and they are all referee related because I'm curious on people's opinions. This happened. There was quite a few controversial calls this past weekend in both the college and professional football setting. And my first question goes out, and I'm just curious on y'all's opinion on this. If there is a targeting call in college football, or if an unnecessary roughness for a helmet-to-helmet contact in the NFL, because they're not called the same penalty, but we get the thing. If there's a helmet-to-helmet tackle, it's a 15-yard penalty in one, and it's a ejection of a player in the other. Should the offensive player have to go get checked for a concussion before they can come back on the field? Because it's such a big deal. If we really care about player safety, if it's that big of a penalty or a thing, I think they should go get put in concussion protocol.
I never thought of that until now, but that makes you're getting it's a helmet to helmet hit. That seems like a fair trade.
I mean, especially in college football, if we're gonna eject a kid from the game, go get the other kid checked for a concussion. Now, if he clears protocol, let him back into the game. But let's get that neutral neuroscientist on the field, make that paycheck that he's probably getting paid $50,000 per game. Like, let's make him earn his money. Because there's like the Josh Allen sack this past weekend in the Bills game, in the Cowboys 49ers game. I know it didn't matter because the Cowboys got steamrolled, but I mean, there's just some like, what do you want the safety to do? There was a safety in the what game was it? It might have been in the Texas OU game that the safety injured himself because he couldn't decide where he was going to hit the guy, and he like came in soft and he hurt his shoulder on the play because he like you could see the indecision of like, I need to hit him where the ball is to knock it out. Okay, but I can't do that because I'll get called for a penalty or targeting. So I'm going to go like try to go low, and then he gets like a knee to the head and he got a neck injury and he's out.
Well, no, that wasn't was that when the kid got brought taken off on the stretcher?
No. It wasn't that big of a deal, but he couldn't play the rest of the game.
There was a game this weekend in college where someone got took off on a stretcher. Yeah. I can't remember what it was. I think I'm just ready for college to adopt the pro rule on this. Yeah. Like, I'm not, you shouldn't be ejected for what they call targeting. If you want to make it the second call in the game, you get ejected. Okay, I'll concede to that. But the first one should just be a 15-yard penalty. Let's stack them back up. You shouldn't ruin a kid's, it doesn't matter if a kid, adult. That's why the NFL doesn't do that. Because they know it's stupid to begin with. They're only doing that to appease the masses, saying they care about people. Like, we all know they don't give a flip. Let's be honest.
They don't care.
They're letting a guy that died on the field quite literally play again. That seems like a liability times a million.
That one is definitely, it was a freak accident that he died on the field. But, like, the Tua being concussed clearly one week and then them putting him in the next week and then him seizing up was definitely like a, hey, man, if you can clear our BS protocol, you get to go in. So,
yeah.
All right. Question number 2. Completely unrelated to any events from this weekend, but it just came to my brain. Should a quarterback that is throwing a football and his arm gets hit, but they don't hit the ball, should that count as a tipped pass?
No.
No, yeah. Is that what they're calling it?
No. So, like, right? So, like, the quarterback throws the ball, D lineman jumps, tips the ball in the air. It floats straight up in the air, tipped ball, then pass interference, doesn't matter. But a quarterback
I agree with that.
But then like a quarterback throwing a ball gets his elbow hit mid-throw, but the guy doesn't physically touch the ball, but it does the same thing as a tipped ball. It goes straight up in the air, and then it's fluttering around.
No, I think you have to. I think you have to hit the ball. I think you have to touch the ball.
Why?
I just there's one of them is just guy getting hit. The other is an actual tip pass. Like the definition of tip pass would be the guy tipped the ball, not hit the guy's elbow.
All right, fair enough. I was just curious. I'm on the opposite.
Shane, what's going on here?
He left, and so his background can't decide what he's doing. See, I'm on the opposite. I think that it should count. Honestly, hitting the elbow is more of an effect than a tipped ball anytime. Like, you watch a quarterback get hit in the elbow, the ball just does crazy things. But
probably, yeah.
But that's whatever.
Yeah.
If you would like more opinions on this, tune in to tomorrow's episode where we talk about the Chiefs-Vikings game because it's going to be a fun one. The new segment of Rate the Ref is going to be brought up multiple times. This is going to be the NFL episode this week. It's going to be a good one. Okay. If you haven't noticed yet, we're down a member today. Blake is not here because I don't think that Blake can handle the pain that we are about to discuss over the course of our 2 episodes. Excuse me. Because not only did the Aggies lose, but the Cowboys also got stomped. But let's just get right into the misery of the Aggies losing to Alabama. And I'm going to have to actually kind of open the floor to the group here because I was driving all over the state of Texas during the Alabama A&M game, and I was able to keep up with some things. But I watched the highlights, but I was not able to watch the full 4 hours of pain and sadness. I will say this. My one take I will say on this, I told you that Max Johnson could be a problem because there are some issues that the lack of mobility that I'm not saying Max Johnson is bad. I'm saying having Connor Wigman in that game, I think it's a very
no, I agree.
Well, that was what I was afraid of. It's just our offense is less dynamic with a player like Max Johnson than it is with Connor Wigman. And I'm pretty sure from what I watched, Max Johnson was responsible for us not scoring 21 points. So that's kind of a lot. 18 points. We kicked.
I also have I have a problem with some of the coaching decisions.
Oh, for sure. I am not saying Max Johnson is the problem. I have bigger problems with our Jimbo Fisher dilemma.
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Durkin dilemma is just insane.
Well, dude, okay. Defense. The only reason we're in that game is our defense.
Mm-hmm.
Our defensive line killed Alabama.
For sure.
Moved Alabama. I mean, Alabama, what? Like, they had like 17 rushing yards or some shit. Like, they had a stupid low number at half.
I do appreciate Durkin did what I wanted him to do. Make Milroe beat you with his arm.
Yeah,
and Milroe got it done. Now
Burton.
Could we maybe have made an adjustment with Burton?
Yeah,
to where he didn't destroy us? Maybe, but
it's also, I mean, dude. All right. I was told that Shane and Blake's grandfather is watching, and that I need to watch what I say.
Charles is watching.
Shout out Charles. Hey, shout out Charles. We love to shout out our members here on the Football is King podcast. Shout out Charles.
So Charles, what I'm about to say,
you might want to mute for just like 10 seconds, Charles.
Jimbo Fisher coaches like the biggest pussy on the planet.
Oh.
It's the third quarter against Alabama, and it's 4th and 1, and you don't go for it when we need the points. And then you turn around and get your happy little West Virginia bumpkin ass up on the podium after the game, and they say, "Why didn't you go for it?" And you say, "Well, if it was 4th and inches, we would have went for it." Motherfucker, it's 6 inches.
Well, it also doesn't make sense. 6
inches is the difference in 4th and inches and 4th and 1.
It doesn't make sense either with his He went for it on 4th and 1 on the first drive of the game.
First drive, yeah.
In field goal range, which, hey, guess what? Points against Alabama matters.
Why are you scared?
Dude,
Quit coaching scared. You should be scared. You should be scared. There's a lot of Aggies out there that want your ass fired.
He ain't scared.
He's gone.
I mean, he's not scared because he knows that if he gets fired, he still gets all the money.
No, 100%.
That's the problem with guaranteed contracts is the guys can just do whatever they want.
I have qualms with a lot of people. Why didn't? Hey, this is my question. DJ Durkin. Did you already talk about DJ Durkin?
A bit.
We talked about how the
defense did what we said we needed them to do. Make Milroe beat you with your hand.
No, you have to find a way to
we
stop.
didn't adjust.
The defensive line did what they needed to do. Defensive line is amazing. I will give them that.
Our secondary is trash, which our secondary last year was so good.
D-Berry gets beat 4 plays in a row and you don't give him help. That is malpractice. You give him, at some point, you got to sit in that box and go, you know what? This same guy they are targeting and he is getting beat. I remember the Titans.
He's a liability.
Don't take my son out. He's just getting beat. That's all. Well, that's what was happening. He was just getting beat. He needed to come out of the game.
Ryan Gosselin was a liability at corner.
Yep.
And so is D-Berry. He's a liability.
Since when can we not run the ball? That's my biggest concern. We cannot run the ball worth a lick. I miss Devon A-Chain, whatever, every day watching A&M play. I'm just like, and Isaiah Spiller. I mean, just all of them. Trey Williams.
I have another question. Can we not just cleanly catch a punt or a kick?
Oh, no. None of my teams that I support can catch a punt. It drives me insane.
They drop every punt.
It's a bit,
and it gives me a heart attack. And then he grabs the ball and takes off running, and he gets a great return off of it. But it's every punt. He doesn't catch any punch cleanly. That one kickoff.
Is it still Anaya Smith back there?
Yes.
He never catches anything
kickoff
clean.
was just pure luck that it bounced in Anias' hands.
Yeah.
Pure luck.
Look, I hate to say this because I'm going to get killed. Alabama did not win that football game. We lost that football game. We did not make the adjustments necessary. Their second half adjustments were a thing of beauty, an absolute thing of beauty, and we did nothing to combat it.
I would say
played his best game of his college career this year.
I would say Saban outcoached Jimbo.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Alabama won it or that. Well, I actually on that I would say Alabama won that game not because of talent, not because of whatever different plays. It's because Nick Saban outcoached Jimbo Fisher, which I mean, just
the coaching is so bad.
Yeah.
But it was okay. The same with Bobby Petrino. We tried to run the ball so much and it didn't work ever the whole game.
No, I'm still on team. You cannot let, especially a team like Alabama, you cannot let them just tee off on your quarterback.
I agree, but in the fourth quarter, we needed points, and we're trying to run the same goddamn counter play, and it's not working. At some point, we need points, fellas. We need to. Max Johnson's got to air it out, and I don't blame the offensive line. The second half was god awful.
Oh, our offensive line's a problem.
Our offensive line is bad. It's very bad.
Max Johnson didn't.
Which is why I was afraid. That's why. Sorry, not afraid. It's why I think that the Connor going down is a big deal because Max can't move.
Yeah. We are screwed. We do not have a lot of money, and the government is fixing to fine the shit out of us.
Why?
Because you just put a government alert on YouTube, and we're.
Is that not allowed?
That's not a thing?
No.
Really?
Do that.
I never knew that.
Oh, I watched a podcast where it was made.
Well, good news. Only like 30 people ever watch these, so we're good.
Hey, Charles, don't report us to the government.
Oh, Charles is not reporting us. I can guarantee.
Also,
Charles
hey, government. Everyone mute your freaking phones. What are y'all doing? Why do y'all still have Amber Alerts going on your phones?
What? I think my phone is muted.
No, go to your phone setting and change the settings to no emergency
alerts. You're part
alerts.
of the problem. You're part of the problem.
I am not.
You're the guy. You're the guy that said we need to get rid of milk cartons. What do you say?
Why did I say we need to get rid of milk cartons?
No, I said you're the guy that got rid of milk cartons.
I don't know what you mean by that.
I mean, once upon a time we had missing children on milk cartons. Now we don't have that because now we have Amber Alerts, and you're trying to get rid of Amber Alerts via you don't care about the kids.
Fair. That's fair.
That's fair.
I'll accept that.
Okay. All right. But in all honesty, like, would you fire Jimbo?
No.
What if we go out and lose another 2 games?
Still no. It depends. No. It's too much money.
Dude, we have the money. The money's there.
Honestly,
we always have the money. Every college.
Sorry. Let me rephrase that as well. Besides the money, we are going into a completely new conference next year. I know we're still in the SEC.
But yeah.
But it's a new conference.
I understand.
I'd rather have some stability with coaching.
Okay. I can't believe I'm going to say this. Can't believe it. Actually, I may not say it.
But we're still going to suck next year as well. So.
Okay. Here is my question for you. So the recruiting that Jimbo does is what makes Jimbo good.
I don't know. Like, recruits mean nothing to me. I don't care until you prove it.
Jimbo is a very good recruiter. The only way I feel that we could continue the recruiting train that Jimbo has is to get someone like Dion.
No.
But I don't like that either.
He only recruits the positions that don't matter. He recruits the positions that do not matter. What's Colorado's problem?
Well, what if we had Elko?
Not a big enough name. Okay, do you want me to be brutally honest with y'all? Because I know that y'all care about A&M football more than you care about other football. It doesn't matter who you get because 2 bigger programs are coming in and they're going to kick your butt. They're going to kick our butt. No, Texas and Oklahoma, now that they're in the SEC, will dominate us in recruiting.
We out-recruit them every year.
Disagree.
We do.
Disagree.
Like the past 5 years, we've completely dominated both those schools in recruiting.
I don't care how people judge recruiting. I disagree. I think the past 5 years, Texas and Oklahoma would beat A&M all 5 years. So I think they recruited better. I don't care how many stars they put next to.
I think 2020 we would have beat both.
Sorry, okay, 1 out of 4 years, 1 out of 5, so 20%.
I think Texas was pretty poor last year, the year before.
I think we were also pretty poor.
I
think our defense was pretty good.
Last year we were god awful,
but I think our offense was putrid. I think
like Spiller's years, we would have been fine.
You want to look at what Texas is doing better than A&M right now is Texas is currently paying their offensive linemen a crap ton of money, and their O-line and D-line look good.
I agree.
Real good.
We should be paying our linemen.
And no matter what you say, Texas, if now the NIL is a thing, Texas is the biggest brand in college sports. The University of Texas is the biggest brand in college sports, and they will be able to out-recruit A&M. I know that we got oil money and these things, but they will be able to out-recruit A&M every day of the week if they want to.
We have to step our game up.
Now, I think that A&M has had better players to go to the NFL because they've been better coached.
Like now, next year, we're sitting at number 3 recruiting-wise.
Yeah. And I don't care what they say on that. I think right now, if you look at it, I think if Texas and Texas A&M played on Saturday, Texas would be a 21-point favorite.
Yeah, but at some point, these recruits have to play out. Like at some point, you know the difference. Okay, here's the big thing. All right. So if Bryce Foster turned out to be the player that everyone thought he was going to be out of high school, like one of the best offensive linemen we've ever seen, all this stuff, and if we had two like All-American offensive line guys right now, we would be great. Like
if our O-line was better, we would be top 12.
I'll give it that.
I would say we'd be top 12.
I would like
O-line.
I mean, I think if we had a better offensive line, and for the love of God, if we could keep a quarterback healthy for one whole season, it would be amazing. But I have hope that these recruits are eventually going to play out. See, Shane, you missed it.
Yeah.
I asked a question about your dude, and you weren't here.
I do want to spiral off of what you're about to finish saying there. I think recruiting is significantly less important now from high school players. I think the transfer portal is where it is now, which you look at Texas. Texas went – how many games did they win last year? 5 and 7? I don't know. They were awful.
They were pretty bad.
No, we were 5 and 7. They were like, I don't know, 7 and 5 maybe. Whatever. Texas sucked last year. So did A&M. You know how Texas all of a sudden became a top 10 team? They hit the transfer portal and crushed it. Who cares about high schoolers anymore? They've proven nothing. I don't care how many stars you put next to a kid's name. Until they come onto campus and can prove it, those are the kids I want.
I agree. I understand. I'm just saying one of these has to play out, right?
But
but you need all of them to pay out. You need everyone to be good.
I've been down this road with y'all before. These stars mean nothing. What matters is development. That's what Nick Saban has done so well over 20 years or whatever it is.
I mean, you're going to know.
Need talent, yes.
You're going to know. You're going to see who's got the athleticism, who's got the instinct or whatever. But yeah, you're going to now see significantly more people like Tyreek Hill when he was in college at Oklahoma State and then at Georgia Southern, where you're just like, yeah, those kids can now transfer after they have a really good season at Georgia Southern and go play at a bigger school and make a bigger difference. I mean, look at Adonai Mitchell transferred from 2-time national champion Georgia to go to Texas.
True.
Yeah.
And these are the things.
Could have stayed and got a third ring. Yeah, I mean, there's a solid chance Georgia could win another.
I mean, if he stayed on that team, Georgia's offense would have significantly fewer problems. He is good.
Yeah.
He's very good. You see these kids like, I mean, so what we were talking about, Shane, while you were gone, is that A&M's got a real big problem in the future with Texas and Oklahoma coming into the SEC because those two teams will out-recruit them as well. And so now not only do we have to compete with Georgia and Alabama and LSU for the best recruits, now we got to compete with Texas and OU. And I do think A&M has deeper pockets than OU when it comes for NIL things. But Texas will destroy A&M when it comes to transfer portal every time. They have so much more money.
I'm not really concerned, honestly, with OU. Texas concerns me. But
I would be concerned with OU because OU has been better than Texas for the past 30 years, except for 3 times.
Like literally,
OU should be a bigger worry than Texas.
I guess my only thing is I always think about OU is these kids that go to OU from like Texas and southern states that are powerhouses are you go to OU because you know you're going to win the Big 12. Like, let's be honest, you have a shot at the playoffs. When they moved to
OU's been in the playoffs multiple times.
No, I know. I'm not discounting that, but I think it's when you move to the SEC. if you're from Texas or any other southern state, why wouldn't you go to Texas or Texas A&M over OU anymore?
I don't know, man. I'm starting to like Brent Venables at OU because their defense looked like they could be physical and play.
I like
that. And
he looks
that's
like
going to be good.
Make-A-Wish ready for him.
Well, OU looked good.
Don't get me wrong. Texas was the better team, but OU deserved to win the game. But Texas is a better team for sure.
That's why I love the Red River rivalry, though, because no one.
Well, let's call it what it is. It's called the shootout.
Yeah, it's the shootout, not a showdown. Some bullshit PC. Sorry, Charles. Nonsense that we got going on there. I mean, what are the odds that Charles made it 30 minutes into this?
I was told he watches the whole thing.
Oh, okay. Well, I apologize, Charles, for my language.
Hey,
I got a phone call saying
that's my grandfather, and if we can make it above Fox News on his watch list, we are electric at our job.
There we go.
We are.
I got a phone call from Mom and Rhonda saying, stop cussing. And
was that from last year? You've been much better this year.
I have been much better. Thank you.
Yeah, no JCs. Yeah. Shout out Kim Williamson on that one.
I've been working on that very well.
Yeah, my mom had a huge problem with it. But I don't know. So that's kind of the future of A&M football. To wrap it up from there.
It's just depressing cycle.
Jimbo?
I'm nervous. Yeah, the question was, would you fire Jimbo?
Oh, come
on. Hold on.
What does my shirt say? I've been on this train.
With?
Hold on. Let me add the
replace him with?
Jonathan, let me add the context first.
Yes, sir.
The two of you are listening to this. Shane, would you fire Jimbo going into we're in a new conference next year. You're no longer in the SEC. You're in a new conference. You want complete turnover.
I'd fire Jimbo Fisher for God darn Charlie Strong right now, and that is
that's terrible.
Take.
Okay, well, not only
I do not agree with that take.
Not only would you be you're firing all of your coordinators as well.
No, that's the problem.
If you get a new head coach, it's new coordinators as well, going into a new SEC, and I think the first year is the most important.
Mike Elko, Dan Lanning. That's the only two I'm taking.
My only problem
I do like Dan Lanning. And
the guys that Jimbo has recruiting first off and as coordinators are good. I just don't trust Jimbo. Jimbo is too involved. Jimbo to me needs to be a GM. I don't need to see you. I don't need to
listen to be a Bob Stoops.
Yes, I need you to sit in the corner and shut your mouth. If you want to take the credit when we win, by golly.
No, he needs to oversight where he says yes or no on major decisions. Like, hey, it's fourth down. I've got this. The offensive coordinator says, I have this play called up. And he says, I don't like that play, punt. Yeah, or whatever, kick a field goal or whatever the scenario is.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, but that's what every head coach needs to be. But all of the new – you'll see it in the NFL and in college football. Now the head coach wants to be the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator and the GM all at the same time, which is why you have the Brandon Staley's of the world sucking at everything, or the Mario Cristobals of the world sucking at everything.
The problem is they all think they're Bill Belichick or Andy Reid, and there's only two of those guys out there, and that's the funny thing about it, because if Jimbo could swallow his pride and just be a facilitator, we would have probably a pretty good team. But he's so gung-ho on being uber involved. It's nauseating at times. I can't tell you how many times on Saturday I wanted to shove vodka in my eyeballs just so I couldn't see anymore, because it's nauseating. It's terrible.
Yeah. All right. That's enough on the sadness that we had from this past Saturday.
Well, we're being Tennessee this week, so
tune into more sadness.
Positive vibes is
Sunday tomorrow.
So that's about all the positive.
And that was a great transition right there. So now we get to talk about what honestly was definitely the game of the weekend. And should always be. It's always, besides last year, it's almost always a great game.
It's chaos.
It's chaos. Yeah, it's great. It's in a terrible stadium, but it's got a good environment.
That first 6
better than State Fair.
Completely insane.
Yeah. We're obviously talking about the Red River Shootout. where OU did beat Texas. I have so many opinions on this game. It was nonsense. Besides the fact that he had the worst first two drives that you could have, Quinn Ewers actually almost played a perfect football game. If you take away that one awful interception on the first, do you know after the second pick, which the second pick was a bang bang, it was just a good football play. It's no one's fault. It's not the tight end's fault. It's not the quarterback's fault. He threw it. The safety makes a great hit, jars the ball loose.
Yeah.
It's just a football, pop straight up in the air, whatever. It was a good play by everybody
you can have
involved.
Those. The first interception you can't have, but that interception you can have.
No, the first interception, I think he was trying to throw it to 3 different Oklahoma players, which is very intriguing to me. After the pick on the goal line, whatever, he was 23 of 24 for 300 plus yards. That is the definition of perfection. He was so good. And then he fumbled one time. And then, Texas played very, very well. But in a game where you turn the ball over 3 times and the other team turns it over 0, and you're of equal standing, that other team deserves to win. So all of the UT people out there saying that they should have won, you're wrong. You could have won, but you should not have won. Well, all the UT people out there saying that it was the ref's fault.
It's not the ref's fault.
Stupid. That's a loser mentality. Get over that.
The ref's fault. You made OU beat you in the air and in scramble.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Gabriel just played out of his
he played good.
mind.
Yeah. I think we did. Okay. We made too big of a deal of Dylan Gabriel having a cut on his non-throwing hand. It's not his throwing hand. I don't care. Who cares?
That was dumb.
There was times where it seemed like WWE out there. They're making up stories.
Dude, there was some. Okay, but hey, I love that game just because both teams were physical. Yep. There were some solid hits. Nothing was cheap. Nothing was dirty. It was just good.
It was old school football.
Old school football. It was fun. I mean, I will say this: OU won that game because they were more physical than Texas. That's what it boiled down to. Their D line shut down Texas's O line, which I know that Texas lost their center very early on in the game, and that was a big deal. But even before then, Texas
they were kind of bullied. Their O line has been what everyone's been talking about.
Yeah,
and they got dominated.
And Oklahoma was able to run the football.
Yep.
As well. I mean, it was a good game. It was great.
That game is honestly, from a no fan perspective, is such a great game to watch because people from Texas that aren't from Texas or Oklahoma probably don't tune in every year like I do or anyone else in Texas. But if you have no fandom in it, it is absolutely electric because you never know. But once again, besides last year, you never know what you're going to get. I don't care if it was Texas who stinks atrociously for years or Oklahoma who stinks atrociously for years.
You never know what's going to happen in that game.
Yeah, that game is amazing to watch.
Yeah. And you know what? Shout out to my in-laws because we were not at the game this year. And it's much better. I mean, being at the fair that weekend when Texas wins, super fun time. Being at the fair when Texas does not win, very not fun time. That's very brutal.
Yeah.
And so losing on a last-minute drive like that, I have been at the fair when that has happened, like 2 or 3 years ago is when it happened. It was whenever Caleb Williams, it must have been 2 years ago. Yeah. It was when Caleb Williams came onto the scene. He came on at halftime for an injured Spencer Rattler, and he dominated, and it was just really brutal. So I was glad to not be there because Texas lost. Some things that I had questions on this. It is already being reported that Dylan Gabriel, for his performance, is going to go down as a legend in that game, and I think that is terrible because I honestly don't think he was that good.
No,
they're talking like Roy Williams on the goal line, Jordan Shipley when he returns the punt return, like Colt McCoy or what's the Oklahoma guy? Shoot, I don't know. They're comparing him to because he led a last minute drive.
But the rest of that game was not I'm not putting him in a Heisman favorite after that game.
No, he didn't. He honestly didn't look that good.
No,
he had some good scrambles, but with his arm, he looked bad.
Yeah, that's naive. That's stupid. That's just
my other big takeaway is that Texas decided to play prevent defense when their defense had given up 0 points in the second half, and every defensive coordinator that decides to do that should be fired on the spot. And no matter what level, if you're playing freaking Pop Warner football and you're the coach and you're like, we're going to do prevent defense at the end of the game, fire him. He's gone. Get rid of him. He sucks.
The only time I've ever seen prevent defense work is in Madden. That's it. It's the only time it's ever worked. The one thing I will give Texas credit for, and maybe this is because I live in Texas, but I have never seen in my whole lifetime a college program block as many special teams.
They got good special teams.
They are always electric.
But it's always in this game only. It's never in the other games. It's a Red River rivalry thing. There's always a special teams play that changes the game.
Their punt fake was really freaking good too.
Yeah.
Oh, I read that from a mile. How did you not know that punt fake was coming? I could have told you the punt fake.
I'm just saying coming. The Red River shootout always has a special teams moment where you're just like, gosh dang, that's it. That's gonna turn the tide. I mean, what was it last year? Texas returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, this year there was the block punt.
But that whole fake punt, I'm being serious. I told my wife before they went out to kick it, I said, there's a fake coming. There's no way there's not a fake coming. Is it just ignorance by Brett Venables not realizing this game and not knowing what the antics are? Or
I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to stop a blocked punt or a fake punt. Sometimes it is.
But they didn't even play it I would have bet my mortgage that was a fake punt coming. I mean, it was obvious.
Yeah. That's a bold bet.
Please don't do that.
You could see where it was going. Like Texas knew they needed to make a statement right here, and this is an easy way to do it. It's like, bro, play the fake. I don't know. This is probably why I'm not a coach, but because you'll get burnt 20 times out of that. But
I do have one last Texas take that I'm curious on people's opinions on. I don't know if we've talked about it on this. I'm a big uniforms guy. I love me a good uniforms. I'm on team in professional football. Numbers matter, so I shouldn't see anyone ever wearing the number 0. It drives me insane. I shouldn't see a defensive end wearing number 9 like Matthew Judon. It drives me insane. All these things. But I got to give credit where credit is due. The University of Texas has one of the cleanest uniforms in existence, and it's the white on white on white on white. I don't think they should ever wear a different uniform ever. They should do white helmet, white top, white pants, white socks every game. The orange looks bad. I don't like the orange with the white pants. I think it looks bad.
It's kind of gaudy, but that's also biased opinion.
They should always do white on white on white on white in basketball, in football, in volleyball. I don't care what the sport is. The all white looks good, just like Real Madrid and soccer should always wear their women's water polo, white swimsuit, white cap. Do they wear something on their feet? I don't know. White things on their feet if they wear things on their feet. White mouth guard if you wear a mouth guard. I don't care.
Yeah, I do.
And the players should have to be the coaches should force the players to have white cleats.
Yeah,
it looks so clean. It looks so good. And then they wore their orange this weekend. And I was like, it's over.
I like the white, but I also am probably different from this group. Like I like when the Aggies wear all maroon. I think it looks good all maroon.
Nah, you can't wear maroon top on maroon pants. I don't like that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I think
All right.
it.
That's fair. Whatever. That's fair. Whatever. All right. Let's quickly go through all the other games, and then we will get into. I'm so sad that Blake's not here to talk about his boy I mean, we all know Blake loves Miami coaches, and we're going to talk a lot about a Miami coach today.
Are we going to talk about the whole Colorado, Arizona punt debacle trying to get said guy to touch the ball?
Oh, where he pushes it, where they try to push him into it?
Yeah, 5 guys try to grab. Like, that seems like that should be.
I feel like I feel like the refs would just blow it dead.
But doesn't that seem like it should be an unsportsmanlike conduct? If it was anything else, that would be.
I guarantee you that the refs would have found a penalty for it, because if they didn't, every team from then on out would just send their offensive linemen out there and just like have them drag a guy to the they'll do something about it. All right. We're just gonna rapid fire these. Ohio State survived a scare from Maryland.
They suck.
Maryland's pretty good.
I said that, and y'all told me they suck. But
well, I mean, Tua's little brother did throw a game-changing interception because Maryland could have definitely won that game. But whatever.
No, but Ohio State did not look good.
No, McCord, we got some problems with all these quarterbacks that were supposed to be the saviors for these programs. We got some issues. But you know who we do not have issues with, at least this week? The real Georgia Bulldogs stepped up, and Kentucky got steamrolled.
Austin, you called this. You called it. You said this might be the coming out party for Georgia.
They just needed a game and now I think they don't play another single team for the rest of the season. So good for Georgia that they.
No,
Georgia does it every year. This is what they do. Like,
yeah, I mean, but also once again, the East is just so low this year. We need the East to step up a bit to make the SEC more exciting.
No, but it's like
the West
Georgia played so bad against competition that they should have demolished, and then they go up against Kentucky, who is a pretty good squad, and they made them look absolutely mediocre. They made them look stupid.
I agree with you, Jonathan. The West is down, but the West, most of the teams are at very competitive levels with each other, so the games are good. While Georgia, no one from the East is going to beat Georgia. Like, you just know they're going to walk through. We thought, maybe Missouri could do it, and then they lost to LSU. And it's just like, whatever. Speaking of that game, it was a shootout. It was absolutely terrible that Missouri didn't at least cover the spread in that game. But somehow LSU survived. Good for them, I guess. Also, now it'll be yet another week that LSU is ranked above A&M, even though I think A&M is a significantly better football team than they are.
Did you see Missouri's coach talking about what's his name, the quarterback for LSU? How is he not a Heisman candidate and blah blah blah? I'm like, bro, come on, have you not watched? You watched the tape. Let's be honest, he's not that good.
I mean, LSU's defense is atrocious.
Yeah, they're terrible.
That's why they don't win games.
The reason that they want him to be a Heisman candidate is without him, that team sucks.
I mean, yeah, he is very good, but you're never going to be a Heisman candidate on a team that lost 2 games. Like, you're immediately eliminated.
He literally is the team.
For sure. He's very good.
The only reason that team is any good.
If he played on Georgia or Ohio State, he would be the Heisman leader right now. But
I mean, it's the same situation as like Drake May. Drake May's not winning the Heisman.
No, but Drake May is going to be the 2nd pick overall. Sorry, no. That is incorrect, because the Chicago Bears are going to own the number 1 and number 2 pick, and so then they won't draft 2 quarterbacks, so he'll be the number 3 pick overall.
Well, if Justin Fields keeps doing what he's doing, I don't know. I mean, 2 weeks in a row, Justin looks good.
I mean, we'll talk about that tomorrow, but that might be the worst thing you have ever said on this podcast. Yes. He is so bad.
He went off the past 2 weeks.
Fantastic. He played against, hands down, the worst defense that the NFL has seen in 30 years. and he played well. Good for Justin Fields. All right. Let's talk about the losers of the podcast, or at least the losers of college football. How the bleep did Notre Dame lose to Louisville?
That's
just like how
Louisville's they're good.
No, they're not.
They might be good.
They might not be good though.
They might be good.
They're not good. I just
they're not
don't
good.
think. I think this is the typical curse of Notre Dame and everyone singing their praises because they're Catholics and they do despicable things to little people.
All right, well, hold on. Allegedly. Well, not allegedly. It's pretty much proven.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, there's a movie out. It's great. It's called Spotlight. Very good.
Charles Pillin's got a book all about it.
Spotlight won Best Picture. It was a great movie. Loved it. I'm sorry, didn't love it. It's a very sad movie about that horrific tragedy that actually happened to people. But it's very well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's I feel like every year we go into the college football year and the talking heads, Todd McShay and all these God blessing people, that Notre Dame is gonna do this and that. No, Notre Dame ain't gonna do nothing. They ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah, I would say that it was a letdown week after Ohio State, but they beat Duke last week, so it shouldn't be a letdown week. That's what I was thinking it was. So, I don't even know what to say.
They're that good of a football team. I think they are They're going to be
pretty good.
They're going to be a New Year's Six bowl team. That's what they are. But they're not.
I mean, that's a pretty good standard right there. I would take that in a heartbeat if I was A&M.
No, I agree. I would too. But the expectations they have every year is It's outrageous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. The ACC is getting interesting. I mean, no one that is good, like no one from the ACC is going to make the playoffs. I guess if Florida State runs the table, they will make the playoffs, and then they will get steamrolled by whoever they play because they're not that good. But I think there's going to be a lot of change throughout the ACC through the course of the season. I mean, there are legitimately 8 teams that could make the ACC championship game, in my opinion.
But Florida State will probably run the table, and they're probably going to be in the playoffs. But this is where we talk about all the time. The committee needs to actually watch football, and Florida State will not be a top 4 team. Are they a good team? They're a good team. But are they a top 4 team in the nation? Hell no.
All right, let's get to the main event. It's great.
Mario Cristobal.
We have decided to rename the college football version of the coaching malpractice tracker to the Mario Cristobal coaching malpractice tracker. It used to be named after our boy Urban Meyer, but you know what? He was honestly a really good college football coach. Just made poor life choices off the field when he became an NFL coach. For the second time in his career, Mario Cristobal decided to run the ball instead of kneel it when he could have ran out the clock while winning and lost.
That's what blows my mind.
I can't believe I didn't know until you told me that was his second time doing that.
Go look it up. Oregon versus Stanford, and it's not pretty. But shout out to our guy Haynes King with a great last drive.
He throws a touchdown. Both players involved in that freaking game-winning touchdown were A&M transfers.
How, if you were the defense, do you let him get behind you? I don't get it.
You want to talk about prevent defense, Austin? That's the perfect time for an old prevent defense.
All right, I got to remind myself of the situation. Were they up 3 or 4? 4, right? So they had to have a touchdown.
They had to have a touchdown. It could not just be.
You put 3 guys on the goal line. That's what you do. You put 3 guys on the goal line, and 3 guys got beat. That's the best part. Is 3 dudes got beat.
I mean, they didn't get beat. They got beat by like 30 yards.
Yeah.
30 yards is significant.
No, but 10 yards is probably a fair assessment. That's embarrassing.
wait, something is wrong with ESPN. I don't remember how much time was left on the clock, but it was under 10 seconds. It was under 10 seconds, and they did not have anyone deep, and they gave up a touchdown.
So not only does Mario Cristobal get the award for terrible offensive coaching malpractice, defensive malpractice, you have no one deep on quite literally a Hail Mary.
See, but that's the head coach's job, in my opinion. Oh, I'm so mad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
About so many things on all of this. But yeah.
I at least would have faith in Jimbo Fisher to say, no, we're going to play prevent defense right here. You're going to have 3 guys on the goal line. I don't know if he actually would,
and
but I at least
we lost to that Miami team.
Yep.
So I take it all back. A&M, they're not a top 25 team. We're not good. We're mediocre. That's what I get us now.
Well, the funny
if Georgia Tech can hold that offense to 20 points, then I'm sorry. Then we're not that good.
Well, our defense didn't play great. But you want to know what the funny part is? Did you see how many votes we got? We got more votes this week to be a top 25 team than we did last week.
I mean, honestly, we played Alabama pretty tight, but
no, I agree. But how does that make any sense? Coming off a loss?
Also, I mean, it's not hard to know that A&M was going to lose that game because they never beat Bama at home. We did once, but every time we play them at home, it's always just heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak every time.
I'm tired of the heartbreak, really and truly. I'm really just fed up with it.
Well, you better go support Georgia then, because if you're going to be an A&M fan, you are going to continue to feel some heartbreak. All right, let's wrap it up this week.
I'm on the bandwagon.
We got slaughtered last weekend on the gambling streets out there, but you know what? It's okay. Maybe UCLA is as good as they were predicted to be because we didn't win the Wazoo almost team ride. But Shane was our big winner last week.
2-1.
Good for him. Yeah, 2-1. Good for him. We had some close calls and some not close calls, but basically everyone went 1-2 except for Shane went 2-1. I think it was Jonathan and I's both. It was our first losing week, so you know what? We were on a heater.
I'll be fine. I'll bounce back this week.
Oh, I've got 2 of my 3 picks are a guarantee for next week. So tune in tomorrow for the guaranteed winners. I bet Jonathan's got a couple as well. Our winners from this past weekend, Blake had the Ravens -3.5. Shane hit on Jacksonville State and the Lions. And Jonathan continues to ride the North Carolina Tar Heels. And I went with my Oregon State Beavers. And that's going to do it. That's going to be our.
I'm not betting on Jacksonville State this week.
I'm pretty sure that's already locked in, buddy. And I'm really mad because Liberty is one of my teams, and they are currently steamrolling Jacksonville State. And I didn't pick Liberty this week because I was scared of Jacksonville State. Bummer. All right. But that'll do it for this week of the Football is King podcast. Tune in tomorrow to talk about NFL things. We appreciate all the things that y'all do for us. Remember to like, subscribe, 5-star review. Share with a friend. Hey, you share it with some friends and let us know. We will shout you out personally on the podcast. Be on the lookout in the future for some merch. We're looking at some awesome T-shirts and hoodies and things like that with the Fire Bimbo and let the kids have fun for sure. We love letting the kids have fun. All right.
Shout out Charles Quinlan.
Yep. Shout out to Charles. He's our shout out of the week. We'll see you tomorrow on the Football is King podcast.